Welcome back to Tell Me More for RunNet Radio. My name is Trina Wilcox, and today I have two guests that are going to tell me about some of the projects that they have been working on, collaborating together. Dean and Val, welcome. I'm excited to talk about your script and this production you've got going on, and it's out now.
Yeah, it's game day. It's out on Tubi, Plex, Amazon Prime, and Vimeo. But Tubi is and Plex are nice and free, so we always encourage free. So
Yes.
we understand what that's like. So check it out there. But yes, it's been out on Tubi for how long, Val? It's been about a month and a half now. Something
Month
like
and
that.
a half, Tubi. Yeah, and on Amazon Prime, it's been out for, I don't know, 8, 9 months.
Something like that.
Something
Yeah.
like, yeah, but yeah, it's been a month and a half or so.
Okay, so I'm excited to go look for it because I've got some of those streaming services, so I have no reason not to find it. I love that it's accessible, and because I hate having to wait for something to come out when you're talking about it and the excitement's there. So
There
tell
you
me
go.
how you decided to put this together. It's like, how did you have a dream, a vision, and then bring it to fruition?
Go ahead, Dean.
Well, I had written a script that I was very, very, very proud of, that I had started to work on it. In fact, Val and I will talk about that later because that's a project that we're going to be doing here. And I had brought it to a director who I knew, who was a terrific director as well as very good with scripts and structure, and I wanted to get his opinion on it. And he loved it. He had a lot of great ideas, but he just kind of out of the clear blue sky said, "Have you ever thought about writing a script that's loosely based on your family experience?" And because he's heard me tell stories about how my family is, the Italian American family, and the passions and the dramas and the all the different things. And I said, yeah, not really. And then he's like, I think there's something there. And then he said, what about because he knows that we're big sports fans. He was like, what about one of the because he's not a big sports guy. He said, what about something like that centers around a game or something like that? And then a light bulb went off, and we started writing. I started writing, and he started writing together. And then just a few months later, game day came out of that. And then from there, we hooked up with this whole phenomenal production group, Val and Pete, and all that they did in Pennsylvania and in Philly to make it work. And they really took the ball and ran hard with it. So I'll let Val take it from there.
Yeah, so pretty much an audition came to me. It was recommended that I audition for these two roles as a part of game day. And it was just perfect because I grew up in the Philadelphia area and I can definitely play Philly well. And I'm Italian. And I come from a family of crazy Eagles fans. So I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I totally have to audition. So I auditioned for the part that I got. And also I auditioned for the other woman lead, or one of the other women leads, who was Dean, or Zach's ex-wife. So anyway, auditioned for that. And then we ended up talking to the director and producer about the script. I read the script, I loved it, and Pete Pusiglione, who's my business partner, he loved it too. So we had just recently opened a studio in Swarthmore, and it's called the Actors Co-op, and it's primarily teaches acting for film and television, so separate from theater. So we have kids classes and adult classes, and we've kind of, in a very short amount of time, even through COVID, become like a production studio. So after speaking with Dean and the director and the producer, we said, why don't you come here to cast it? Because then you'll have authentic Philly. And then if we film it here, that would be even better. So it kind of all worked out. It was amazing how things just all came together. And the second that Pete, my business partner, and I met Dean, we were like, oh my gosh, we worked perfectly together. And we call ourselves the triplets because Pete, my business partner, is my twin, but then ex were the triplets. So
I was born first. I'm the older of the triplets.
Well, that works well together. It's not easy to have such a click that just is magical and it flows so well. So when you get that, you got to run with it.
Yeah, seriously, it was like miraculous, I'd like to say, because we just worked so well together. I mean, we all did, the cast and crew. Um, like Dean and I always say, we kind of did become a family in a way when we were filming this, because we filmed it primarily in one home. So we were there together all the time. And yeah, you have like your family tiffs, etc. But then you have your great times too. So it worked out well.
So
Yeah,
Dean,
that, oh, I'm sorry, go
before
ahead.
putting this together, like what was your past experience with writing and production, and like how did you know that you had a script in you? Because I know that the writing style is a little different.
Well, I had done a script back in I think it was 2006, 2007, and we had won. I wrote it, and it was a very similar situation. I had a friend who I had worked with as a director, and he was a writer as well. So I wrote the script and I brought it to him, and he's like, "This is great. I'd like to collaborate with you on it." And I was like, "Let's do it." We wrote it. We won Telluride with the screenwriting contest. We got a great agent out of it. It got in turnaround, and nothing happened. So it was like one of those one of those deals. We took a bunch of meetings, and it would be like, we really felt strongly about the script, and then they liked the script, and then you would sit down in these pitch meetings with these people, and they were like, we really like the script, but we were wondering, do you have anything that's about a South American frog that moves to, and it just like,
Oh,
no, I don't have that one written out really. Well, I think your style would work real well with that. And it just felt like that was like every single meeting that we took was good, but derailing us.
yeah,
So as that kind of occurred, we did that boogie for a couple of years. My partner in that venture kind of got sick of the whole thing and ended up going to more teaching, and he's become a professor and done that. My acting career really started to take off more. I was doing that and waiting tables and coaching high school football and playing in bands and doing everything I could to take care of a family. And my wife, God bless her, said, just focus in on the acting right now. And because I was starting to work, and then like in my mind, I knew the writing was there. It's always been there. I've always written since I was a kid. I'm a songwriter as well, but I sort of kind of pushed it back. I did a cabaret show, a parody in Hollywood that ran for like 4 or 5 years. So I wrote that, and that was going. But then this, then it was like I'm ready to write again. So I wrote the one that the next one that we're about to do, and then I also wrote this, and you're a writer. You know what it's like. You start what I'm a serial writer. So for me, it's like once I start to write, it's like I must continue to write, and then I go dormant for a little while, and I got to write again.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
that a similar thing for you as well?
Yeah, it's peaks and valleys for sure. Or I'll have one idea and then I think I'm gonna do a biography and then I have a kid's book out. It's like, yeah, it just you never know where it's gonna go. Val, was that, I mean, has that been similar for you with projects throughout your life and your paths?
Yeah,
You
I
have
would
to
say
pivot.
totally. I'm not necessarily a writer. I'm just somebody who comes up with ideas. Like regard, for example, the Actors Co. My business, um, where I'll just like come up with ideas and then just like I'm full force. Like I'm the type of person where I'm very extreme. So yes, I completely understand where you guys are coming from with the writing aspect. That it's like once you start something, it's like you have that momentum and you just go go go. But then it's like you need, like you said, you use the best word, like lie dormant for a while. It's almost like, yeah, like the peaks and valleys. I'm the
Right.
same type of person, not necessarily with writing, but with many other things.
Life's like that. And with writing, I heard a Judd Apatow interview, and he said the hard thing about writing is that when you write and you're in the middle of writing, when you're not writing, you feel like you're cheating on writing. It's like,
Mm,
I should be
mm-hmm,
writing right now.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so my wife, she's very supportive, and she loves my writing, and she's an amazingly awesome wife. But I will drive her crazy because I will write literally till 3 a.m. And where I work is in our bedroom because we have this huge bedroom, offices in the corner, and she's like, stop. You must stop now because he's just here.
Right, right.
So, but you know what it's like when you get on a roll and it's going, it's hard to walk away from it.
So where do you, well, I guess let's go to the set of the acting and all of that. What were you nervous when you started acting it out, or were you comfortable that it was exactly where it was supposed to be and coming together how you envisioned it?
Well, for me, I was, first of all, thrilled to work with this one down here who is just great. And we really did connect on every single level. And those scenes, acting those scenes, and Val can tell you the story about like the scenes that we did initially and stuff, but we hit the beach running. And I can tell you, not only did I feel that each character came to fruition, but I felt that each character went beyond what I thought it would be and really went to places that I was like, just thrilled with. So yes, not only did I feel like it came to fruition, I felt like it was just a treat to see these people do those words and the way that they did them and the connection. Val will tell you about our first couple days on the set, though. What
Yeah.
So, Dean and I had met through Zoom, like maybe once or twice before he actually came to Philly and right before we started filming. So I just kind of knew him through Zoom or whatever. But our first day of filming, pretty much Edgar, who's the director, just threw us right in the mix with the most emotional scenes. It was like, and so it's so funny because I always wondered. I mean, I just directed my first short just this past summer, but I had never directed before. But I had heard that directors like to do that, and to me, it always seems so backwards. I'm like, I don't get it. Why would you like start out that way? But there's totally a rhyme or reason to it because it kind of sets the pace for the rest of the filming. But yeah, that first day, I mean, I was very emotionally prepared. I very much connected with this character. And we were thrown into it. And man, when I say after that first day, I was exhausted, it was like an emotional exhaustion like no other. I mean, it was very intense. And I'm glad now looking back, and I told Edgar that, like, thank you so much for making us do all that in the very beginning, because then the rest was cake.
Yeah. Well, and do you think it made for a better, you guys connected on a level, intimately, that it helped with moving forward the different scenes? You had that connection that
Absolutely.
you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yes, completely. And I have to say, Edgar really, he was a great director. And, we did the scene several different ways, like like going by the script, but then he let us just kind of roll with it and improv some things too. And a lot of beautiful things came out of that as well. So I think that, yeah, connecting on that first day definitely was helpful looking back at that.
I've always wondered that too. When you've got a script and I mean, you've got lots to memorize, how often do directors let you go off script? And what does that mean for the writer that's like, well, that's not initially what I wrote, but well, it came out better than what I wrote, or it didn't come out how you wrote. What's that like?
Well, I'll let Dean answer too, but for the films that I've worked on, pretty much most of the directors have said, like, go ahead, let's see what you have, and just let so, and they'll always kind of use some of the improv. So I guess it just depends on the director and if the director is the writer also, etc. But Dean, what's been your experience with that?
Similar to yours, Val. I feel like a lot of times what happens is that you'll do one or two takes that are exactly to the script, and then they'll say basically, let's do a couple, for you do a couple things that you want to do. I've been really fortunate over the past couple months, and I'm actually getting ready to do something here the next week, to work with some really good people as well. Who I just did a short with a guy that does a lot of the Geico commercials, and he's a super funny young director and writer. And I got a taste of what that world is of like the Will Ferrell improv. I'm going to do something with Adam McKay here in the next week, which I'm
So cool.
thrilled about right now. I can't say too much about it, but it's like a dream come true type of thing. And every all these people, it's like you have to work according to Hoyle, like right to the script, to the dot the I and cross the T. And then it's like off to improv land, and you'll just throw stuff out, and they'll just say, throw it. As an actor, I love it because I love improv. As an actor, I love improvising with a person like Val because she's not only talented, she's super smart. And when you're working with somebody who's really bright, then you just feel like you're not playing tennis against Jello. So sometimes it's really like, you're really psyched up and you slam that ball over and it just goes and just sticks and you're like, come on, hit it back. Let's go. Here we go. Wasn't like that with Val at all, or Pete, or Tony, God rest his soul, who passed away. Nick, Mike, Shelley, all the cast, everyone was game. Everybody was game.
Yep.
And as a writer, I never felt like, well, why are you throwing that in? And that's something extra, and I didn't put that in, because I felt like everybody was respectful and honored the points that needed to get in there. I think when there were really, lines that were really the jewel lines of it, I think they stuck to it. And one thing that Edgar and I did as writers, and Edgar certainly adhered to as a director, which is the cardinal rule of any film, whatever kind of film it is that it starts at point A and goes to point B in every single scene, and that the character travels. And hopefully one character is traveling that way and the other one's going that way, and the conflict happens. And we really worked hard to make sure that was there. And every actor, to a person, grasped that. So even when we improved, we understood where our destinations were. And it only made it better. I mean, I was like, yeah, you just go ahead and do that, and I'll keep my name right in the writing credit. That'll be
That's cool. Well, for people that don't know, give us the overall of what game day is all about.
Go, Val.
Okay. Well, it's about the Forte family. And they get together every Sunday and they watch the Eagles. But this Sunday is special. This is a game day. The Eagles are fighting their biggest rival, the Dallas Cowboys. And it's also one of the son's birthdays. So you kind of get to see through the 4 quarters of this game, many things occur in the family. So it's the game occurring, but it's also, kind of the battles on the field, or the home front, you should say, between the different members of the family. So it's all about like the rivalries that actually occur within the family as well. So it was really, I mean, when I first read it, I just absolutely loved it, because you get to see this family go through so many changes and pretty much confront a lot of things that needed to be confronted in one day while this other game is occurring. So it was really a great story.
Cool.
And to Val's point, even in the title, there's a double entendre in the title, because game day is not just really, as Val will attest to, the football aspect of it and the breaking it up into quarters and doing all that stuff. I mean, I was very proud of that. But that was more of an arena device and less of the fact that it's not really about sports or football at all. It's really about family dysfunction. And it's about, at the core of it, something that a person that I really love her writing and her teachings, Pema Chodron. Even though I'm a devout Catholic, she's a Buddhist nun, and she has these phenomenal books. She has a book called When Things Fall Apart, and she talks very often about sitting in crisis, sitting in pain, sitting in moments, and not doing what we always do, what I know I've done for a lifetime that I fight against doing is if something bad happens, if something negative happens, our first instinct is to fight it or to run away from it or fix it, especially if you're a guy. Like we always want to fix our wives' problems. You guys come to us and we're like, fix, fix, fix. And you're like, shut the hell up and just let me.
Just listen.
But that's what we do. And game day, they are forced to sit in their discomfort. They are forced to run at their fears and be there and be in that moment because there is nowhere else that any of them can be on that day. And sometimes it gets ugly. Sometimes it gets sticky. Sometimes it gets messy. And that's what happens in the movie. And we try to tell the truth. And we're very, very proud of the fact that we did not try to sell some sort of Norman Rockwell, Brady Bunch, mosaic of family life. It's pretty punk rock, but life's pretty punk rock.
It sure is. I feel like lots of families will be able to relate because probably every year at Thanksgiving, they've had a similar experience around that time. So I am so glad that you've connected and we've shared. Anything else that you want to talk about involving your next projects, this projects that I've missed?
Val?
Well, I guess I have to say that I do have a movie coming out in February. It's called Ageless Love. So wait for that to come out. And it's based on a true story about a man telling his love story. And he fell in love with a woman who's 14 years older than him. And she was a widow with 5 kids. And they ended up getting married and having another child. It's a beautiful story. And this was Yale Schwartz's final wish before he passed, and he got to see the first Cousin movie before he did pass away. So that's coming out in February. It's called Ageless Love. And then we have our teenage movie called The 7, which the Actors Co-op put together. This movie about these 7 teenagers. And the tagline is "The power lies within." So that's a cool thing.
Cool.
And then I'll be working on something with Dean, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, we're very excited about that. We're doing a film called Sam's Hidden Pieces, and it's about a woman who goes back to her hometown to confront relationship with her mother, a lot of past that's not reconciled, and it's a coming of age story for people in their 50s, and it's a romantic story, and it's a self-discovery story, and we really feel like it speaks a lot to people in our age group, and we're very excited about it. So we're just starting the pre-production of that, but we're very excited about doing that. And other than that, just acting, getting ready to do this thing with Adam McKay, which I'm really, really stoked about, and cannot wait to dig in and to go deeper with Val and with Pete on our next project together, and just working away. But we really want people to go out and please check out Game Day. It's on Tubi, Plex, Amazon Prime, and Vimeo, and I think there's going to be some other platforms as well that it's going to be on. And we really did our best to tell the truth in it, and we really, really, bore our souls and our hearts in it. And we hope people get something out of it. It's not an easy watch sometimes. I mean, it's some tough subjects, but we really hope you all check it out. And we really appreciate you having us on. Thank you so much.
Hey, you guys sound like you have enough projects to be coming back for, so I hope that you'll come back. Go check out Game Day streaming now. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Blessings. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.